Hey everyone, welcome back to Nova Scotia. Well, we've got a beautiful, cool July morning, and we've got rain pushing this way for the noontime and all afternoon. So I get a nice break from my watering chores today and have time to make a video. And today's video is about the Cotoneaster. It's been a wonderful plant. It's been the one selling the best at the market, and I have lots of them developing now. So we'll head to the greenhouse and I'll prune one for you, and we'll make one for the market. All right, so before we get to pruning on the Cotoneaster here, I want to show you an update on the Chinese elms from Kim's Nature. I just got them out this morning, the first cuttings that I've taken. They're down here on the floor, and they're all rooted just wonderful. I'm so excited I'll be able to have Chinese elms for sale. So we'll take a few cuttings off of this one. They're a very easy plant to strip the lower leaves off of. Now I always want to make a little scratch on the bottom like that. I'm using this Biotone 2. It's been a great rooting hormone. I think we got this from Amazon. And I'm making 6-packs of them today to maximize the space. All 4 of these trees that I got from Kim's Nature are doing really, really nice. So that one scraped off a little bit of the bark, because what you're looking for is to scrape a little bit of the outer bark off the bottom of it, because that's where the roots come out from. So I've already taken all these cuttings in the 6-pack this morning. So it's really exciting. A year from now, I'll have plenty of Chinese elms for sale. So this is one of the 2 Cotoneasters that I'm keeping for my collection. And this is a good example of how aggressive they are. This one has not been pruned at all this year, and it's definitely ready for some pruning. So the first thing I want to do is I want to pick out the strongest shoots off of it for propagation. And this one is obviously a really strong shoot. This plant has been extremely easy to propagate. There's no reason to use the rooting hormone on them. I've started just sticking them in 1 gallons. That's really all there is to propagating them. So here's a couple of really strong shoots. They strip very easy off the bottom, and that's the perfect shoot. A year from now, that one will be a good plant to make one out of for the market. So they always want to make low suckers on them. And I want to get rid of all of those, because the thing you want to look at on these plants is the trunk on them, of course. So you definitely want to use these kind of scissors, because this allows you to get right up against the trunk and makes a smooth trunk. You don't want to leave a bunch of nubs on it. So one of the characteristics of this plant is any place where it hits the ground, it'll root. So that's why I put this rock in here to keep it from rooting there, because it is such an easy plant to propagate. And that's kind of how it usually grows. It usually creeps on the ground and roots itself as it goes along. So you can see this one, I used bear copper on it, and it still has quite a few scars. They're growing out, but now I just use the copper with the rubber on it, and I'm able to leave it on there a lot longer, and it's much more friendly to the plant. So that's what I want. I want about a good 5 or 6 inches of the trunk with nothing growing on it, just to enjoy the trunk. And then all these shoots should be cut back. This puts the energy back into the trunk. It's just a very aggressive plant, which makes it really good for this because they develop fast. These two that I'm keeping for my collection have been, they're about 3 years old. This one's about three years in the pot. I'll probably keep that one. And this one is a good one. Finish out my 6-pack there. One more. So it's pretty much a once a year thing to do this to it. Now it's all cleaned up and ready for display. This one's getting really nice. Really happy with this one. So it has been the most successful plant for me this summer for selling at the market. So I'm gonna make one. I need to be making them about this time so that they'll be ready for the market next year. So this is one of my pots that I made with the fine sand, and you can see the crack that developed in it. It's really important to have a pea gravel in with your sand. Now I know that's the way to keep them from cracking. So we'll get this one set up with the wire. This is just copper wire that still has the rubber on it. I can fold this down in there, and then it's really attached to the pot. So this is one that wintered over in the basement, so I probably took this cutting about a year ago. Get rid of all the stuff on top because there's a lot of liverwort in there. Don't want that in there. Screens in. So this is my usual mix of tree compost, perlite, and peat moss. So I just want to get the plant situated as close to the wire as I can. And I'll go ahead and get rid of everything up 5 or 6 inches. It's all about developing a good trunk on them. About like that. And it's just a matter of wrapping them. They have been wonderful plants to use wire on. Very flexible. I'll just want to go in between these branches. Try not to trap them against the wire. So I'll go ahead and cut the end of it off. That will really help to develop the trunk area down here. It puts the energy back into the trunk. And now we've got it all set up for the shaping. The good movement in these plants is definitely one of the things that's really attracting people to them. And I really like them to have good movement right down in the low part. So pretty happy with that shape. I always end up with some of them that are facing down. I definitely want to get rid of those. These I'll just cut in half. And that's a good place to leave this plant now for about a year. this time next year it'll be completely set in that shape, and the roots will have filled the pot, and I'll be able to just take the plant right out and pop it into a good pot and off to the market with it. I always want to have them sitting up high like that, so there's a nice slope down to the edge of the pot. This one came out just right. So there we go. Cotoneaster. It's been putting gas in the van for sure. Hope everyone's having a great bonsai day. And I'll see you next time on Bonsai by the Sea.